Meow meow meow. Oh look at you little paws. Meow 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 meow. Oh, it's a baby. It's a baby. It's a baby. Baby. It's meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Oh, Zoe. She's a baby. Zoe. Meow meow. Baby cat, will you sit in my lap? Will you come up and say hi to stream? Will you come up and say hello to the chat? No? Yes? Yes? Oh no, baby! Yes! Meow. Meow meow. It's a meow meow. She's a meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. Look at that cat. Look at that cat. She's a cat meow meow. She's a cat meow. Yes, she's a meow. Yes, she's a meow. Yes, she's a meow. Purr, 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 purr. Meow, meow, meow. Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. I'm going to sound a little quieter because I'm farther from the mic and I can't get closer to the mic because then I might disturb this kitten. This very good kitten. There's a very good kitten. Who's a good kitten? This one is. Look at how cute she is. Look at this baby. She's like, I'm done, Mom. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, my whole room is a mess. I'm a mess, but in a good way. Just like my room is a mess in a good way. And by that I mean my PS4 arrived. It traveled a bit, so it's a little bit battered, but it's back. Which means... Yes, okay. So before we dive into Wandersong, I have my PS4 with me now, which means we can play Final Fantasy VII Remake, also known as the sequel to Crisis Core. So I've been trying to figure out which of my 2 stream days, Tuesdays or Thursdays, I should do it. And to be frank, right now on the straw poll, very scientific, Thursdays is winning by enough that it's not really a fluke. So I don't know how you folks feel about after Wandersong, seeing what happens after Crisis Core. Because you're my Thursday crew, so like what you think matters too. So for like the next day or so, I've got this straw poll. Let me like put it in chat in case you want to vote. Or you can all just tell me yes, no, but okay, hold on. Strawpoll.com. Yes. All right. Vote if you want to about when to do Final Fantasy. Oh man. Okay, well, Stolen Light is on top of things. She's already voted. I think that would be exciting. I couldn't remember if we did Crisis Core on Tuesdays or Thursdays. I had thought Tuesdays, but then people said Thursdays. So my memory is not the most reliable thing. So we're just gonna go with what somebody else said because I don't trust myself on this. Anyway, yeah. I am excited about more games with good stories and characters and stuff. And Crisis Core had good story and characters, so presumably the sequel will too. Oh, 404 error? Oh no, okay. Somebody got the link maybe from the Discord? I'm sorry. Oh shoot. I think it's gonna be a mod that does it. Sorry. Blue. Can you paste the link to the straw poll? Because I don't have my windows open. Thank you, Blues. No, it's not your fault, Stolen Light. You don't have the sword of justice. Sorry. Yes, because of our troublemaking people during Celeste. So, enough about Crisis Core. We are playing... Look! Oh my gosh. Okay.
as much as like the meminess of this dance is that the right, like, meminess, is that a word? Can I make that be a word? I guess I can make that be a word. It's a word. Meminess of it. Memicity, memacity, anyway, I just love how happy Bard looks doing it. But I have to, oh my god. So this one isn't a meme, right? Is this one a meme? Like, are any of the rest of these memes? This one is just great. This one looks like this is really good cardiovascular exercise. Like, I feel like I should, like, you know, if I'm like, I wanna like I don't have enough room here because I have the box that the PS4 traveled here in, and like a bunch of random stuff all over the floor, and I might accidentally step on a power thing and unplug stuff, so we're not gonna do that. But it does have a good energy. Like, it's ridiculous, but it also looks like this. No, this dance looks like the dance of a 10-year-old child who has an excess of energy and can't sit still, and so the child is like, I cannot sit still. So the child stands up and does this dance while you talk to them. And they're still listening to you. And like, the conversation and communication is still happening. But they have to do this dance in order to be able to do it. That's what this makes me think of. You all knew or possibly were that child. I was not that child. Like, I don't know. It doesn't... The thing is, like, the potty dance doesn't usually involve the hands out like that. Like, it just... It feels like it's too much movement in the wrong way to be a potty dance, but these are important questions. This is my favorite, though. I just really like it. I don't know if I've heard about iconoclasts. I mean, that's like a word that's in the dictionary. Okay. So, oh, that's right, Oshiro is here. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell my friend who likes Oshiro that Oshiro is in this game. Maybe I told her. I don't know. I think I might have told her. I might have. I might not have. Oh my gosh. Hi, Oshiro. It looks just like him. It makes me so happy that he's here and he's alive and he has his happy little inn and it's okay. Yeah, for any latecomers to the party, oh, actually, you know, before we dive into like what happened last time, what's happening on the Lauren streaminess is, we finished Final Fantasy VI and I cried, and then we started Suikoden 1 and I cried twice. Serious tears, even though I know the game very well. Because I know the game very well, there's some amazing dramatic irony going on in the early parts of that game. We're going to play that for 2 weeks. We're going to take an Undertale break on the 5th anniversary of Undertale, and then either keep playing Undertale or keep playing Suikoden or play Final Fantasy VII Remake. But it sounds likely that we'll be doing Final Fantasy VII Remake after Wandersong on Thursdays. So if you folks are down with the adventures of Cloud post-Zack, they'll probably be crying too, hopefully. I want there to be crying. I want to care about the characters enough to cry. But I cried a lot in Crisis Core, so I should cry a lot in the sequel, right? Anyway, so that's what's going on in my streaming, which is pretty exciting, to have things that I'm excited about streaming wise. So I hope some of that will be enjoyable for you. Yeah, folks are talking about whether I will like that game or not. I don't know. There's so many good games. I am smacking my head. Actually, no, I'm not smacking my head on the ceiling. My head is phasing through the ceiling into the floor above. What do you see there, Bard? What do you see in the nether realms? The space outside of time. The alternate dimension in which no dimensions exist. How's the view? I think I'm funny, alright? I want that to be the plot of something somewhere. If that exists, no clip through the ceiling to the end of the universe, please tell me. I would be excited. Yeah, maybe I'll research it. But for now, like, my dance card is full of good games to play. Like, I just can't handle how many good games there are to play. And some of my friends have started playing Dark Souls 1 for the first time. And I'm like, man, I kind of want to play a Dark Souls again. I think I have one of the others. So yeah, anyway, Wandersong, which is such a delightful game that also has melodrama and tragedy to my great delight. I'm so delighted about this. I'm sure it says terrible things about me as a person that I just want melodrama and tragedy in all my games. Even my, like, I would have liked the game if it was just, like, cute and funny. But I like it more that it's sad. You know, that same can be said, like, I thought that Undertale was funny and not sad for, like, the most of it. The first time of through. And I was like, yes, I understand why people like it, but I'm surprised people like it so much. And then it was like, what if you cried, Lauren? And I was like, ooh, I like this so much more now. That's all I want. Anyway, yeah. Wandersong. We made a potion with Miriam. Look at my memory. I remembered that from like a week ago. I'm so proud of myself. Yeah, we made a potion, a questionable potion with Miriam. We gathered a bunch of butterflies to get items from the potion and then to get our dance, which is a meme dance. Yeah. Hold on. Isn't this one, I swear like Aang or somebody dances like this in one of the Avatar shows. Yeah, Undertale does a very good job with its tonal shifts. They're very intentional. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll talk about that in 2 weeks. A week and a half, when we return to Undertale and see how long I can go before I can't handle it anymore. Yeah. Yes, Miriam's sad backstory. Thank you, Moth Dude. That actually was not fresh in my memory, but now that you say it, I'm like, ah, yes. Miriam, no wonder she's so, like, attached to her grandmother and, like, upset and worried about not being good enough for her grandmother because her grandmother is the one who took her in and gave her love and attention when her parents did not. I don't think this is related to Warsong. Wandering and warring are different, although they are close to each other in the dictionary. So, yeah, so we made a questionable potion, and Miriam doesn't even care, because we're gonna go take that potion with Audrey, right? Audrey, that's her name, right? Not Aubrey, not Sydney, not whatever else I thought it might be, right? It's Audrey, right? Yes! Oh man, my memory is not a giant pit that things fall into and don't come out of. This is amazing. This is an improvement. I wouldn't say it's good, but the absence of bad is an improvement. Rehart, that sounds like a Zelda enemy. Doesn't it? I mean, they're the ones who have re-deads. Oh, you know, making a cake with duck eggs and rice flour. Well, but rice flour, the thing is, the reason why you need flour in a cake, like, and why you don't want to, like, overbeat the cake is because, it activates the gluten to a certain degree, which is part of where the structure comes from. But rice flour doesn't have that. So rice flour doesn't really have the same substance. If you try making, like cookies, for example, with rice flour, they're very, very crumbly and almost shortbready. Whereas if you were trying to bake a cake or something that actually has structure and substance to it with only rice flour and no other flour to provide structural integrity for your cake, I don't think it would work, which is probably what you're trying to say. But I just had to start talking about cakes. Oh man. Oh no. That's clever, Angry Nerd Bird. That's clever. Well, nobody can make you do a dance you don't want to do if you don't set up that you'll do a dance that you don't want to do. I'm wise. I'm the wisest. Wisdom. Wise wisdom. A baked dough ball, which could be delicious. But quesadillas are good. Alright, shall we do this? Let's do this. Audrey, what's up, my friend? Friend? For some quantity of friend. Don't look so mad all the time. I appreciate how, like, Bard's face is just not scaled to anyone else's face. Like, if you look like Audrey and Miriam look like they're the same species, but then like Bard has these like giant eyes, and like I have really big eyes. I do, but the proportion of my big eyes to somebody else's eyes are nowhere near like compare Bard's eyes to like anyone else's. And they don't have eyebrows. I think that they do when they're having a mood. Maybe they've got, is it alopecia? Because they don't seem to have hair either. Okay, well that's, they also don't have ears though. They're really adorable. And normally I would just be like, oh, people in this game don't have these features, but everyone else does. Yes, Bard is friend-shaped, but maybe not human-shaped. I think that's fair. Ha. Oh my god, look at how displeased with this turn of events Audrey is. Bard is nervous. That's Bard's nervous sound. Oh my god, I love her little like the voice acting, definitely there was fun involved. Miriam is very smug and I love it. Flunkies, excuse me. Bard is nervous. Oh man, oh that's right, I have a ghost in my head. My ghost is gonna blow up and kill the king, very Final Fantasy IV style. Look at how slow this is. Yep. I'm gonna explode and I'm gonna kill the king on screen and it's gonna be bad. This is very ominous. Chrono, thank you for subscribing. It is Thursday. We're all good. Everything's fine. Branamania, thank you. This is a wholesome game, but it also can be a dark game. Yes, Blues, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling it's like the package being delivered to the Village of Mist. Sorry if that spoils something for Final Fantasy IV, but it's very early in the game. Haha, ha, ha. Audrey's like, something's not right. Oh my goodness. Those are torches. So like the absence of music and that sound that we're hearing is very ominous. Oh no, Bard! Oh no, it's Bard's forced smile. I'm worried about them. And I'm worried about the king. Maybe the ghost will be like, I just need to talk to you, you're my friend. And it'll be friendly, and maybe there's like a Romeo and Juliet thing going on. And all of this like creepy build up. Oh my god, look at Miriam like slowly shuffling. Well, it can't be too... Look at that, the sun is shining. Oh, it's that grumpy guy from outside with his bird that makes the best noise. His Royal Majesty. The king is really young looking. Also looks familiar. I feel like I've seen him before. It's very great. Big invasion in 3 days? Oh no, that doesn't sound good. That does not sound good. Is that like a lion seal? Like a sea lion, but not? Oh. King is not very good at secrets. Also, I'm vibrating and making a low, ghostly noise. Secrets for days. Is your buddy okay? This is a good question. I am wearing a dress. Thank you. Everyone's like, Bard is vibrating and emitting a ghostly noise. Uh-oh! Uh-oh, this doesn't look good. Oh, it is actually a message. To die? Okay, no, this is better. Oh, she's here. Sorry, the music needs to be held out. The king seems too young. I thought they'd been fighting for so long. That was really cool. But also, what just happened? Fortunately, Bard and I are generally on the same page, asking the same questions. You sang your stupid message. Oh, Miriam, never change. Hmm. Completely did not work. Oh, wow. I love that, like, they've established that Miriam is actually, like, I'm like, oh, of course Miriam could do all of these things. Wow. Yes, Miriam is their hero. Aww. We're friends! Friendship is what we got. Well, that happened in a single day. Well, that's good. Ah. Oh. Excellent. Oh, is this the same place that I did the dance? I feel like Look at these facial expressions. Like, that just, like, encapsulates the two of them and their similarities and differences. Wobbly. Her broom just, like, pops back into special dimension. Oh my god. Did they actually get it right? Oh. Oh no. I love that it's a piccolo. Oh no, Miriam! That's actually a piccolo, by the way. That's actually what a piccolo sounds like. We're close enough. Like, it's got the, like, almost wooden sound. I love that. But I'm not doing that. Bard is dancing on their own. I think this is the only one that's appropriate for that song. Oh. No, Miriam. Oh no. Rainbow Girlfriend is here. Does she have a name? Did she ever give us the name? Her name? Does she have one? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. She's not gonna, okay, well then she's gonna just be Rainbow Girlfriend forever. What if she's actually secretly the goddess? She could secretly be the goddess. Maybe. For all we know. Just like putting on a Rainbow Girlfriend disguise so she can pretend to not be the goddess and hang out with the humans. That's the sort of thing that a goddess would do. Oh. Oh no, Miriam! Ah. Go figure. This song is split between the warring countries. Do you, Rainbow Girlfriend? I love that she calls them Lil B. Miriam is, I think, glad to be included in that, so it's not just the Lil B show. Alright, well, I'm hereby calling it if it turns out that she's secretly the goddess. I called it. Miriam does have resting grump face, but I love her. But the thing is, like, no, I don't know if she has resting grump face, because the thing is, that kind of thing is, like, I'm not feeling it, but that's still what my face shows. Miriam is actually legitimately grumpy all the time. So it's not that she's just, like, looks grumpy when she's not feeling grumpy. She looks grumpy because she is grumpy. Hi, Soph! Sophie's gonna yell a bit. Fugitives. Bard's like, oh. Bard is not sure how they feel about this. Rules. Rule is the place with rules. Bard has gotten over their discomfort and uncertainty, and everything is good now. Still like some ominous, creepy music happening, though. The guitar music is ominous. What just happened? Oh no, her broomstick got broken. That doesn't sound good. I didn't even know I could do a thing. Oh no. Oh no. I guess they sound like friends. Oh my god, are they superheroes? Oh my god, are they superheroes trying to like defend the border with superhero-dom? Alright. So this is a place. Oh my god, the secret honeymoon. That's the cutest. Oh my god, Bard is like, oh my god. These two are so excited. Do you see how many exclamation points there are? There's so many exclamation points involved. Oh, well, Miriam, hold up. Okay, Miriam. There's no... We are not a couple. And then there's what just happened. Those are not the same. Miriam. The controller is shaking. They're so serious. I like this music. That's Sailor Moon. That is not an accident. It's like got other stuff going, but it totally had the "she is the one named Sailor Moon," like the same. That's amazing. I love it when I can tell that the people who made a thing have some of the same cultural touch points that I do. Hey, groove to this. Yeah. She's the one named Sailor Moon. Yes! Amazing! Okay. We're not monsters, though. What about us is monsters? Bard does not know how to respond to this. I'm glad that their mouth and their eyes aren't exactly the same shape when they have this expression. Because I feel like the ghosts, when they have the same expression as this, it all looks like it's the exact same oval, which is a little bit unsettling. Oh, your broom! Oh, she's all sad. Let me see if I can find her broom. Look at her. I'm sorry. Bard is concerned. We have a sad Miriam. Oh, maybe I'll sing it better. That sounds like a good idea. I'm singing it better. I'm singing it better. Do you? Do you? Okay, I guess we're looping. Alright. Alright, Bard. Alright. I guess we're gonna go. Is Miriam coming with me? No! Miriam is sad because she has to walk with her legs. Which is usually what you walk with, but it might not be. I gotta try to get her broomstick back. It sounds awfully scary in here. Oh, look at that! Hey, I can deal with ghosts. These are like the same things that we saw in the other kingdom, right? That we didn't see in the other kingdom, did we? I don't think so. Oh, we know this is the giant that was knocked out, that Audrey knocked out. Oh, I can handle this. I can handle this. Yes. Yeah, the other kingdoms thought that these people sent the monsters to them and then Audrey defeated them. But clearly the monsters are a problem here. So we will presumably unravel what's going on. Yes, that's the appropriate response to I can sing monsters away. Yeah! See? I really don't... Oops. Oh, look at that. That appears to have done something. Okay, hold on. I can do this. Oh, it even tells you the direction. That's nice. Oh, you're the one. Okay. Okay. We got it. Blah! Or maybe she said, yeah. This one looks kind of like Daphne. Okay, hold on. Ah, okay. Okay. Oh, he looks sad. Okay. Oh, okay. Miriam. It's true, she is the only one who calls them by their name. Well, we're fighting a monster. You're gonna get yourself hurt. She cares. It's very cute. Thanks, Miriam. Oh, wrong way. Oops. Oh no, it hurt her! Oh no, it hurt Miriam! Oops. Well, that's okay. Oops. Well, that's fine. Fortunately, there's no consequence for failing. Oh, Miriam's doing the same kind of spells that they are. Well, I gotta defend her. She's my friend. She's my pal. Oh, man. Yes. I love the thought of Miriam as just being this, like, ridiculously overpowered witch. Oops. That hurt. Alright. That looks like that worked. Whew, that was really loud in my ears. Heck yeah! We don't say actual swears here. Oh my god. No more fun. Fun is not allowed. Miriam is here. There's a monster. Uh-oh. I wonder if Miriam will like being around a bunch of other witches. Yes, Miriam does slay fun. Oh, hold on. I just accidentally unplugged the TV that is the screen.
Hold on. Give me a second. I can't see what's happening on the game.
Oh my god, it's such a Sailor Moon song. Princess who disappeared because she became a ghost. We're not civilians. Oh my god, is there military superheroes and Sailor Moon characters? That would be amazing. I guess. Mohabumi. I haven't yet figured out if there's like a cute and clever reference in the name of this kingdom. Yes, give us a lift. Like this, like lowercase no. Oh no, Miriam! Oh, I'm so sad for Miriam. Oh, Miriam! Oh! Yeah, to be on the broom, but it's not your broom. Yeah, it's a difficult life. Yeah, to be fair, it is reasonable for her to be upset. This is new. What is that person wearing? I really like the Daphne looking girl's smile. It's adorable. Oh yeah, that's not good. We do. No, Miriam, do you really think Bard's gonna let that fly? Look at this. Look at this Bard. They have to become friends. I have not played Fall Guys. I don't think it's the sort of thing that I would play. Miriam. What makes you think we're not going to meddle to the maximum degree of metalhood? Meddledom? Because of the American accent, you can't hear the difference between metal and metal. like if I'm talking about metal music or meddling, they sound the same because of my American accent. So therefore the joke that Chrono is making that Bard is a metal detector is in fact an easy one to make. And jail time. Too much jail time. No, we can't. Yes. I don't believe that face. Do you believe that face? Do you believe that face is gonna play it cool here? Cool as a cucumber, that sounds right. It's like when we were pirates. Oh my god, I love that as like a quote out of context. Remember when we were pirates? Oh, you're joking. Oh my god. This is amazing. I love this. That's really cute. It took me almost that long to realize she was joking too. Chandash. That's a good question, Miriam, and I want to know. Yeah, like, did your people come from here? I want to know. Yeah, I was wondering about that. That's so interesting. Huh. Oh. Huh. So... words. They're gonna come out of my mouth now. So I'm half Jewish on my dad's side of the family, which, since it's a matrilineal thing, doesn't count by a number of ways of looking at things. But that's the only side of my family that I grew up with, was my dad's side of the family. And like, we weren't like religious in any capacity, but that was still like the culture that I grew up with. But like, it's interesting because like Texas doesn't have a lot of Jewish people in it. They're like concentrated in small numbers in certain places, and that was not where I was or what my life was like. This was interesting, yeah, coming to Toronto, because like I haven't gone on a lot of dates in Toronto, but like multiple people like have been Jewish, or like I run into people and they're Jewish, and it's really interesting because like I go to visit my family in New Jersey, my family from New York. They're a bunch of New York Jews, so going around casually there and seeing like the people in their community, like there are other Jews there, but it's not something that's ever been the case the place that I've lived. And it's really strange. For the longest time, so my last name is Leibowitz, which is very Jewish, and so everyone can tell my last name is Leibowitz. That's a Jewish last name, and so people would be able to tell, and I couldn't tell because I did, like, unless it was like super obvious, I didn't know. And so it was this really weird thing where people would assume that I was part of this group and that I knew they were part of this group, and I'm like, I'm an imposter and I didn't know you were part of the club. Apparently I have step cousins now, my stepmom's sister's kids, and one of them actually is going to go to rabbinical school, so that's how Jewish they are. But in talking to them, they've told me it's called bageling. When you think that the person on the other side, you're like, I think you're part of the same tribe I am, and you kind of like have this like way of talking around until you establish it. Because I was doing phone interviews where I was calling up and interviewing people for a client, and then writing websites for those people. And there's somebody that I talked to who, like, they didn't know my last name or anything. And we were talking, and I think I sound very Canadian. I think my accent is like, oh, wait, you're not from around here in Texas. Are you from Canada? But I was talking to this guy, and he started, like, asking questions, and I figured out, and I was like, wait, somehow, from absolutely nothing about my voice on the phone, so there must be something, which I never thought I had, but there must be something in my voice or my speech patterns that gave me away. And he was like, what did you say your last name was? And I was like, I didn't tell you. He's like, where did you say your people are from? And I'm like, I didn't say. But he could tell. And I don't understand how, but I was like, okay. So I've gotten better at being able to tell, and I've learned a bit more about like the culture and the faith and everything like that, which is, it's helped having my step cousin who's going to rabbinical school. Like, he was very open to like answering a lot of questions and stuff like that. But it was the strangest thing to have symbols on me that other people could see that indicated that I was part of this. But I was also always, it was always very clear to me that it was the wrong side of my family. And so I didn't count. So I wound up having a bit of a chip on my shoulder about that like, I've met a lot of people now who are like, no, of course you count. But yeah, no, it is very strange when everybody else can tell something about you and that you belong, and you can't tell, and you can't see those things, and you don't know what they're seeing about you, and you can't see those things in someone else. So it's not the same as what Miriam was talking about here, but to be like, there is this group of people that I technically, I suppose, belong to, that like, you know, my cultural heritage is that's where a lot of what I grew up with comes from. But I was never part of that. Nobody invited me in. So yeah. And then you start wondering, like, will they see that I'm an imposter, that I don't fit in here? They think I'm gonna fit in. They're gonna make these references and say these things and assume that I know what they're talking about, and I don't. But if I just don't say anything and listen, and then maybe pretend that I know, and eventually, hopefully, they'll pick up enough context clues that they won't ever find out that I don't know. Anyway, I think that's where Miriam's going with this. This person has a really vibrant, this color right here. There's a lot of, how they use like the same colors, like the same color scheme, excuse me, as the singing. Well, okay, so depending on your particular branch and background, there are groups that do not recognize conversion. But regardless, like, my mother didn't, so and it's fine if that's what people's traditions are. Like, far be it from me to tell them that they can't have the belief system that they do. But it does make for very, it's complicated because it's not just a religion, it's also like a culture and an ethnicity. And so I have those, but I don't know. It's complicated, and there's not quite any I don't know if there's another equivalent that's like that in any other culture, but it's complicated. Yeah. Well, and it also doesn't help that I don't have the same exact value system, shall we say, of my father. But then I found extremely social justice oriented Jews who are like, no, it is like the most fundamental part of our calling, like, that we are called to do, is the most fundamental part of our faith, is to take care of other people. And I was like, oh, I like that. I like that so much. So that's been really cool to be like, these are my people, whether I'm 100% one of them or not. So, but I don't know that I would say it's the same, like, it's anyway, I don't know. Yeah, Control C, I knew a girl who had transitioned not that long before, And at some point, like, a bunch of us were like talking about makeup or nails or something like that, and we were like talking to her about stuff, and you could just like see the look on her face where she's like, oh, this is my space now too. And I'm like, yes, this is. So I think that I can understand the parallels between what you're describing and what I'm describing. So yeah. Well, Draskin, I felt like I had no culture that I was attached to, but kind of like as I've gotten older and have learned more about that, I've come to the realization that, like, yes, that is part of who I am. There are certain experiences that... Hey, Geodude! We're talking about cultural identity. Look, it wouldn't be a Wandersong stream if I didn't go off on a 20-minute tangent about something only slightly related. But yeah, no, I think one of the greatest crimes that the concept... Okay, I'm gonna go full politics here. One of the most terrible and lasting crimes that whiteness as a concept has inflicted on the world is erasing culture and then pillaging culture, if that makes sense. Like, the white folks in America who say, I don't have culture, I don't have a heritage, I want to borrow other people's culture and heritage because their culture and heritage exist, and I have this hole in me that I want to fill, and they do not have that hole, and they have the thing that could fill it. I will take it. Which is not a good answer, obviously, but it is a problem to have that hole of identity in yourself. Like, I think that we all kind of want to feel like we belong and have something with meaning and character. Like, I think that has been stolen away from a lot of people, and they're desperate to find something that'll fill that void that's in them. And I don't know what the answer is, you know. Is the answer for white folks to go digging into their own history and find their own culture and fill the hole for themselves with something that is theirs? Is the answer to somehow make something completely new? I don't know. It's not to take other people's culture. That's not a good answer, and that just hurts people. But like, it's kind of like, you know how people say, you know, the patriarchy hurts men too? You wouldn't be watching this stream if you weren't okay with me having this conversation, so I'm gonna have this conversation. So when people say the patriarchy hurts men too, because like sometimes people will be like, you're a feminist because you hate men and you only care about what's affecting women. I'm like, no, the structures that put women into enforced gender boxes also put men into enforced gender boxes. And that's not even to go into people who are outside of the gender binary and what this kind of system does for them. So the same culture that puts down emotion in women are hysterical. We need to we can't listen to them or take them seriously. They are hysterical and irrational. Emotion is a female problem. So therefore emotion is not allowed in men, and that leads to all sorts of like mental health and physical health problems. Like, it's really not good for anyone. And like the idea that women are the only ones, like mothers are the only parents who can be nurturing, has negative consequences for fathers who don't develop those relationships with their sons, and who, yes, do tend to be less likely to get custody of their children if there's a divorce. And so this is a harmful thing for both sides. I would say there's more like drastic and dramatic damage to women with the structure that is in place right now, but it's also a structure that's harming even the people who are in power. And I would say the same thing is true of the idea of whiteness, because whiteness doesn't really exist. It was artificially created around the time that the US, like the colonies, were being settled. There's a really, really interesting podcast that if you find this interesting, that I strongly encourage you to listen to. I think it's called Seeing Whiteness or Seeing White. But it talks about the history of whiteness as a concept, because whiteness wasn't a thing prior to that. Cultural assimilation, sure, you can talk about that, but it's not the same. And whiteness is something that can be extended to groups. They can be outside of it and then be allowed entrance. So it's not just the color of one's skin. It is actually this status of sorts. But in order to take on this status, you do have to make a sacrifice of your identity. Yes, Irish people, Italian people, and like then there's like a question of like, you know, do Jews count as white? Yes and no, where it's a complicated thing. So it's this construct that didn't exist until it was created, that hurts the people inside of it as well. Now, I think it's probably pretty obvious that the worst suffering, the more dire suffering is among those outside of it who are being hurt by it. But it is also in ways hurting the people inside of it. Not everybody, because there are some people who choose to make that their identity, and white supremacy is a thing and I'm not a fan. But even like people who are white or white passing, I mean, not necessarily white passing, but people who are white and not like white supremacist about it, like, yes, you benefit from society telling you that you're the default option. Yes, Angry Nerd Bird has the right of it right there. But even like everybody in it in some way suffers from having sacrificed or had ancestors sacrifice or someone else sacrifice their own cultural identity. Because whiteness isn't really a cultural identity, unless you choose to make it so, and that takes very toxic shapes. But I don't know how we're going to fill that hole, because it is a hole, and I think people need it, and I don't know what can be done about it. I think that's part of some of the like people I know who've kind of gone into like Wicca or like pagan faiths and cultures. Some of that I think has been trying to reconnect with, this was my heritage, this was my people's history and culture. Can I get it back? So I don't know what that's going to look like, but this is actually something that I've been asking myself lately, is like, well, what can we do? Because obviously we want to try to stop people of color's suffering perpetuated by whiteness. Like, that is front and center. But we also have to dismantle whiteness. And I think part of that is going to be filling the hole in white people that has been put in them, in a way that doesn't hurt other people, through like cultural appropriation, which if that's a concept that you may or may not be familiar with. And by the way, if I talk about this stuff, and any folks, if you're like, I don't know what she's talking about, I'm not sure I understand this, that doesn't sound like what I've heard or whatever, please feel free to speak up. I'm not gonna make fun of you for not knowing these things, This is something I've been doing a lot of research into lately, but I was very ignorant for a really long time. And like, kind of like, it's not my fault in that like information was kept from me. I had to go looking for it. But it is out there. So if you're like, that doesn't quite sound right, but I'm interested in learning more, we will help you find things. But look up the podcast Seeing White. It's really good. I haven't finished it because it can be a lot. But it's really, really, really good. But yeah, do be careful as you go digging into your own cultural history, and make sure that you're reclaiming it from an educated perspective as much as you can. And if you do accidentally step on some toes, use as much love as you can. So, yeah. Anyway, how was it? Was that 20 minutes? Do we have a 20? I actually think that was less than 20 minutes. How exciting. I went on a less than 20-minute tangent, I think. I don't know. Anyway, we're playing a video game now, but I'm really curious to see what they do with Miriam and her identity as a witch in a witch country. It's been interesting for me, like, being a person who, like, culturally has always been told that I'm more Canadian, and then moving to Canada and being like, ah, yes, in many ways, yes, but also I'm really, really contrary and spiteful in a way that Americans tend to be. So, yeah. This person has a monocle. They are in a pickle with a monocle. Oh, music, huh? Gosh, if only someone here was musical. Miriam, get out your piccolo. Singing? Oh no. Oh no. Well, don't worry about that. We got it. It's bamboozled. Layla has great words. Layla. Oh no, don't make me do that. I don't know if I'm a composer. Although, fun fact, actually. So I've told you about the voice actor who sings the role of Bard. So the voice actor is male. And he is a composer. So you can hear some of his music if you want to. He's extraordinarily talented. In addition to having a voice like melted gold. It's amazing. Oh, I could just have him do the start of the opera again. That's true. Oh, look at this! We got somebody with wild hair. Well, you can also choose to reject your cultural heritage if it doesn't ring true for you. I don't know what the answer there is. But, like, you don't have to be like, well, my ancestors did this, so I'm gonna do it. Maybe the answer is to figure out what feels good to you and make your own. I don't know. Don't have an answer. Mohabumi. Visiting family in the boonies, huh? I like your sunglasses. They're very cool. Oh man. Yeah, living in the country was a big change. She got all mumbly? That seems accurate. Yeah, well, there was something really cool the first time I celebrated Passover with my step family, and realized that, like, a long, long unbroken line of people related to me had been doing a version of that same thing for, like, over 1,000 years. That was really powerful. Like, not something I necessarily would have expected to feel powerful, but it did. So. Someone famous is on the boat. Oh my gosh, we better figure that out. Oh no, is it gonna be Audrey? Is it gonna be Audrey? People tend to tell me things. And they'll be like, I never talked to anybody about this before. But I talk to people about things. I like this person's eye patch and nose. But Blinkspat, you can get better at cooking if you practice. I didn't learn to cook until I was in my early 20s. That's reasonable, Draskin, though. I can understand why. I mean, I have a very American-centric experience with this sort of thing. But okay, speaking of that, actually. So going around Canada, going around Toronto, I'll see, like, people will have Canadian flags out. And my gut reaction to seeing somebody flying the flag is like, oh no, it's a crazy nationalist. It's not the case here. I don't know if it was always that way in the US or if it just, like, started at after 9/11. But I actually had to ask some of my friends here. I'm like, Because if I see that on someone's house or someone's car or whatever, I'm just like, whoa, you're bad news. Like, and it's not the same case here. And so I still have to kind of like fight that expectation about people. Where here people are just like, I like Canada. It doesn't mean like, you know, extreme nationalism and white supremacy and all of that stuff. So yeah. It's interesting stuff. Interesting. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the captain is playing whatever this thing that Doug plays is. I don't remember which one this is. Oh, it's marimba! Okay. You folks know my friend Doug, right? Drum Ultima? Who plays marimba and other everything, percussion and not percussion. Doug! Because I go first, because captains... That's amazing. Okay, so I have to come up with... Yes. Okay. No, this isn't right. Okay. We're gonna do this. Oh, I did that wrong. Okay. We're gonna do this. Oh, we could do the 8 melodies, couldn't we? Ah, no, I did it wrong. Yeah. They should give you the option to like... Let's see. Okay. No. Bum, 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 bum. And the next one will be bum, 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 bum. Yes. Yes. Excellent. Edward. Yes. Oh, there's a staircase. Hello, you look like you might be a composer. So cats generally don't like flutes. Flutes aren't very good for their ears. Man, my old cat Whisper that I had growing up hated when I was in high school and I played piccolo. It's the worst. I do have perfect relative pitch, not perfect absolute pitch, which is good actually. Having perfect absolute pitch is more of a pain because you notice when things are not just when things aren't tuned together, but when they're not tuned to what they're supposed to be. Whereas for me, I can tell if things aren't tuned together, but if you sing something in a different key than it's supposed to be, it doesn't physically hurt me. Oh, I'm new. Oh, we're pretending we didn't just crash land on the ship. Okay. Most peculiar. Bow tie. Spell Squad. Aha. secret agents. No. Maybe actually. I think of it as Chandesh, but I don't know. Oh no. Oh dear. I didn't realize I was that suspicious looking, but I suppose I... Oh man, another little accordion. Oh. Okay, Fernando. Okay, so you're going last, so we have to do the one that's second first. You're not playing an instrument. I'm not a musician. Oh. Okay. Alright. No. Okay. That's fine. Okay. There we go. Yes. There we go. Alright, Matilda, we got it. We're gonna try this again, okay? Red, purple, blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, yellow, red, blue. Okay, we're gonna try this. Alright. Let's see if we can do this. This is a lot of notes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Oh, I did that wrong. Yes. It's close enough. This can be interesting. Unless you guys think I can do better. Should I try to do better? I could try to do faster. Should we try to do better? Do you folks care enough for that to happen? It does kind of have that same vibe, doesn't it? Geodude. Alright, well I guess we got it done. Oh, have I been here? Oh. That's no fun. Hey Miriam! Miriam! Okay, well. Alright. Not Captain. Layla. Miraculously, everyone has music to play. They apparently don't understand yet, Jaskin. Oh man, let's listen to this. Hopefully they're gonna play in order. The captain does kind of have a captain-y look. It's an empty boat with nothing else to do. Thank you for coming out. Captain, you're supposed to be more enthusiastic about your own ship at the very least. Somebody just made up today. You're very good at selling this, my friend. That's amazing. That was a very satisfying finish. Also, I like the upside down treble clef. That's how edgy you are. This person is doing performance art for us. Oh, yep. I told you there was a celebrity on the ship. I said it was Audrey. I said, oh man, achievement unlocked, slow clap. Audrey, come on. Oh no. Audrey! Audrey, why are you being a butt? I mean, I guess maybe she's mad. We're punks. We're the coolest. Oh my god, Audrey's like, this is not what I expected to happen. I broke every rule in Rule's book. Yes. Oh my god. That was totally Miriam going, wasn't it? Oh my god. Yeah, no, Audrey's not good at this. She's mad that we have friends who think we're cool, and she doesn't. She has Rainbow Girlfriend, but Rainbow Girlfriend also thinks we're cool, so she doesn't really get credit for that one, you know? Thank you, Captain. Can we roast marshmallows on that fire? Captain is standing dramatically at the front of the boat. I'm sure there's a name for that, but I don't know what it is. Bow? Is that the bow of the ship? Oh, hey! Is that a mermaid? Am I a minstrel? I'm a bard. Who are you? Oh dear. This looks like a ghost. Princess? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He got really mad and threw me in jail. It's interesting that both the princess and the king are quite young. Hmm. Ah. Bard is like, oh dear. This isn't good. Oh. Yeah, you do. Nope. I use the magic of friendship. The most powerful magic of all. See, exactly. That's Bard's superpower, is friendship. Teamwork is a form of friendship. Or a component of friendship. Oh. Yeah, you're doing actually quite well for yourself. Given that you're dead, you're still managing to do quite a lot. The music got really dramatic. Yeah, but it might help us stop a war and save the world. So, it could be worse. It's cool! The Bard got over their initial fright, and now they're back to being friendly. Like, oh, I made friends with a ghost. Okay. I mean, they've been making friends with ghosts all game, so. Holla. Thanks, Captain. Hey, Dr. Phantasmal. Thank you for dropping by. Hello, Captain. Mohabumi. Oh, thank you, Dr. Phantasmal. I got a map. Hold down to open it. Ah. Huh. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Oh. Oh. Huh. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, look at that. You can see my little hand. They've all got these, like, crystals. Magic gift. Hello, Layla. Well done. We may have some trouble, yeah. Oh no, that's how they get you. I mean, there was something kind of fun about tourist trap shopping. Oh, Miriam's getting a new broom. That's funny, yeah. Because you've never been in a place where people would cater to witches enough to sell brooms. Not having money. Maybe you can make a friend, Miriam. That seems like a great way to maybe get some help around town. A plan. Hello. What a mustache you have. Pro Tool. Like Pro Tools, like the software that people use for music stuff. Ah, that would explain it. Okay, so that's why. So Miriam is in fact correct. Oh, look at that. Yeah. That is handy. Hmm. That's interesting. That's good for us, for other people to be able to hear her. Then presumably her mom and sister will be able to hear her. It's a little bit creepy to watch her floating around behind me. Oh, look at this. This fancy pants person and their fancy pants hair. Hot new threads. Oh, I really like that yellow dress. I would wear that yellow dress. Yellow is not a good color on me, though. Love dress. Are you? I am fabulous. My mom made it? Maybe? Oh my gosh, that's adorable. Marley. Have we met Marley yet? Oh. Which one was Marley? Okay, way back in the beginning. Oh, the school's gonna be that way. This person is really adorable. Look at their big bushy beard. Yes, it is magical, Gabe. Yes, I would do that. I would absolutely sit there. Oh man! These are some choices. Where should we send him next? I'm wanting to say either Chismest or Langtree. But I guess Delphi, was that the city where where we made a band? Was that Delphi? Okay. Yes. Yes, you should absolutely go there. I feel like that is a good place to go. Because they could use being in, you know, like the people there want, like they could use somebody new there and new people visiting. So having a presence in somebody's travelogue would be good for them. Hello. Are you a conductor? Is it a baton instead of a magic wand? Hmm. Baston and a baton. Very funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, I can't do that anymore. I didn't know what was going to happen. I thought maybe it would make them fly up in the air because they talked about being up in the air. Oh, hello. It is me from the boat. Wink. Oh. Yes. It's very subtle. So subtle. Hmm. This is a good question. All right, Rudolph. You're an academic, I see. Oh, hello. You have a striped shirt. Does that mean you're a child? I relate. Yep. Fortunately, my thesis was a creative thesis, and I was living and working at home. So. Yeah, that sounds right. That's interesting. You could just make some stuff up and have a really on your side and powerful thesis advisor. Yeah. Yeah, PhD programs are rough. Mine was just an MFA, which is why it was a creative thesis. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow, she has bags under her eyes. It's not just me. The princess looks kind of like Rainbow Girlfriend, shape-wise, right? How? Yeah, this is kind of a big conversation. Huh. Yeah, Bard doesn't know, so Bard's like, I will turn and hear what she has to say. For plot-related reasons, I assume. Oh my god, that's adorable. I'm a bard. Oh my god, the bard is so cute. Oh my gosh, we're all witches. I'm a witch. Amazing. Oh, that must be something to do with the Earth Song. This is world building. Sophie. I can do magic with my voice? Amazing. Haha. This doesn't sound good. You can give Bard a hug. Bard gives good hugs, I bet. Oh, this is really sweet. I'm glad. I was worried that they were gonna, like, have these people be, like, so cool about it that it was just like, oh, we're gonna exchange information. And not like, my sister is dead and I did never think I would see her again and here's her ghost. That I'm just apparently a big waterworks. About, like, everything. Oh, look at that. I'm bouncing. No, I want to go down. Okay. I didn't mean to go this way. I want to fall down there, but I guess I don't get to. No. Or I could just do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go back here, because I didn't talk to her yet. Yes, we do know that. Okay, okay. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad they're going here. Yeah, good. Good. I feel like there's kind of a tendency or when you're putting together a story and you need to have something happen for the plot, even if it's like a terrible tragedy, to have characters be kind of caught up in the plotness of it rather than actually stopping and thinking about what would that mean if they were actual people. And this is a problem that I have with tabletop games. This is part of why I have a hard time finding players for my games that fit well and finding games that I as a player fit well in, is because a lot of times it's like, this is what the plot needs and this is what we're doing, instead of like, this is who, this is what people in the world with this experience, what that would be like, what that would be like, what that would feel like, how they would act. So so there were a bunch of sisters. Yeah, so these two were close. Yeah, that's sweet, and I'm glad they did that. Okay, hold on. Oh my god, what are you doing, Miriam? Oh my god, Miriam. Oh, she's struggling with somebody else's broom. No, Miriam. Side quests. Oh my god. Oh no, that's like all Miriam thinks that she's got. Oh no. I said it. Magic of friendship. Oh, I feel so bad for her. Because you didn't study, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I really like this. This is really interesting. No, Bard's like, no, you create music from the heart. Oh my god. Oh my god, Bard is so upset. This is so cute. Oh. Oh. She's sad. Hello? Oh. I was gonna say, you can't tell. Magical engineering, Douglas? That's really specific. But yes, tenure is really something. Oh, it's a space. Okay. Oh, that sounds like something that won't come up again, I'm sure. Oops. Jump, Bard. Whee! Library. This is where I came from. Yes. Wait, hold on. Let's look at their map. No, it's the same map. I seem to recall thinking it looked creepier, but... Wait, hold on. Can I go up here? Hold on, I gotta like... Oh, hold on. Yeah, there was totally a way up there. How do I get up there? I want to get up there. How do I do it? Ah! How? Oh. That doesn't look like it's working. I want to go up there, but I don't get to. Okay. You could maybe jump sideways. I could maybe jump sideways if I wanted to. Hello. She's got stripy socks. That's the good witch look she's got going on. Yeah, that is true. Unless they break up. That is true. That would be rough. I keep telling strangers about my worries. Oops, wrong way. Okay. We're gonna go this way. Hello, you're adorable. What? That is really something. It's like the kids in Link's Awakening singing the song about what the buttons do. Oh no, Gonzalo, you're having some trouble. You're walking on the ceilings and walls? Oh, do I get to do that? Oh my gosh, child. This is the shopping sign. Hi, Miriam. Oops. That's what I get for tilting my head around. Oh no, purple face. Oh no, Sophie. Sophie's really sad right now. Didn't play with her enough. Huh. I wonder. That's actually really... I really like Miriam trying to make sense of this. Yeah. That's cool. Oh, you look like a Studio Ghibli character. I like candy. Of course you do. Worm guts. Oh dear. Oh, Bard isn't sure how they feel about this. Haha! Oh my god. Yes, her name does look and sound like Ultimate. Oh my god. We have found the goth child. Hello, goth child. Oh my god. Kind of gothy punky vibes. Oh look, it's Sophie! Sophie, you're in the game now! Oh my god. Apparently she is. Oh my gosh. Oops, I did that wrong. Oh, we've been here before, okay. Boats this way. Oh, okay. It looks like they were talking about being able to like walk on the roof and like the ceiling and walls and stuff, so I guess that's gonna happen. Hold on, can I go this way? Better broom as opposed to worse broom. Definitely don't want the worst broom. Boom, boom. Have I been here? Yes. I wasn't wrong with that Metal Gear Solid experience. Alright, let's see what's this way. Seems suspiciously like where I'm supposed to go. Oh, hello, child. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is the origin of the war? That is not good. Is that real? I don't... Okay, I think this child might be compulsive lying. But I don't know. Okay. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, that is really something. That is a story that you just told me, yeah. Alright, so much bounce. Bounce. Oh, hello, Diva. Your cool secret. I'm cool. And walk on walls. Yeah, that's gonna come. You notice how this person doesn't even, like, question how you got up here if you don't use magic? Oh, man. Is it my band? Is my band here? The princess looks familiar anyway. Oh, potions. I don't have any money. That seems dangerous. Oh, she does look like an Adventure Time character. That's what I'm thinking of, Draskin. Thank you. You are correct. That is exactly what I was thinking. Hey, it's Rob. Rob is rating us. Thank you, Rob. How are you doing, friend? Were you just playing some music? Have you played Wandersong yet? It is a music-based game. And John Robert is the voice of the bard. It's adorable. The gentle raid. A raid of friendship. If anyone is not following my friend Rob... Oh! Did you folks see the cover of Farewell Hyrule King that I put up on YouTube? Because if you did, and you saw the piano in that, that is my friend Rob, who is here with us now. So if you like piano, Rob is the ultimate pianist. So you should absolutely follow him. Actually, hold on. I have a thing. I can do a thing. Hold on. I don't think I ever told my mods. We have the option to do shout outs for people. There you go. FlutyBot is on it. Yes, Rob is an amazing, amazing pianist. He's so incredible and just got a new piano. So I'm looking forward to hearing him continue to make amazing music on it. And he streams his music, so you should definitely check him out. Keyboards. Man, it has been a long time since I seriously played piano. Long, long time. Oh, this person is being all deep and thoughtful. I'm glad to know that they enjoy their job. Yeah, so that definitely very, very adventure time. Because it's been bothering me. I'm like, who is this that this person looks like? Does she look like... You know, she doesn't jump when I jump. She just kind of floats creepily behind where I was. This is our grumpy witch friend, Miriam. We're having fun exploring a witch place.
And Sophie Kitty has a belly. Hello, Sophie Toby.
I can't show you folks Sophie because she's curled up on my floor, which is covered in stuff. I could if I knew where the cat cam is, but I don't. Oh no, Miriam, do you have a specialty? Ah, that is a useful skill for a witch to have, blowing stuff up with your fingertips. I can't do that. I don't know that I would want that though, because knowing me, I might accidentally blow something up that I don't want to. There's lots of things that I wouldn't want to blow up. I don't know how Sophie feels about dogs. She hasn't really had a lot of experience with them. It's very violent. Okay, Bard, have you met Miriam? Bard is concerned. Oh no, Miriam, it's okay. I did a lot of exploding things when I played Majora's Mask because I could blow things up with my face. Which at least Miriam doesn't do that. She had to like rub her face on things to blow them up. That would not be very fun or effective for anyone, really. Oh, Miriam. She is going through a lot of complex feelings because like we were just in a place where she was persecuted for being a witch. Now here she is surrounded by other witches and she's not witchy enough for the witches, but she's too witchy for the people who don't like witches. And she just doesn't fit in anywhere. Miriam, it is hard to be in the middle. Not quite enough of one thing, not quite enough or too much for another. Oh, that's right, we haven't been home in a while. Maybe we should go visit. That's true. Oh, Miriam. I think it's really adorable how Miriam loves her grandma. Like, just, like, unreservedly, unabashedly loves her grandma. Because a lot of times I think you would have the grumpy character, and the grumpy character wouldn't have, like, you can't have the grumpy character have, like, unironic love for somebody. Oh. Bard is like, no, it's fine. It's cool. We got this. Oh, we're friends. Friendship. Friendship. That's adorable. I'm glad that Bard... Wait, are you sleeping on your broom? Or are you just posing? Partying. I guess they do all have really bright hair colors, don't they? Happy green elf. I mean, I kind of do. I'm real and ridiculous. Your You're having some trouble. Oh dear, this person's having some trouble. Happy unicorn. Oh no. The bard is having some trouble here. But in her heart, she knows she's still a unicorn. This is really cute. Oh jeez. Oh dear. Well, let's do this. Yes, it was definitely about Miriam. Wait, hold on. How do I... There we go. Look, you can try to defeat me with your platforming, but I will probably be defeated by your platforming, but I'm going to try not to be. Whee! Boo, boo, boo. Huh, that didn't seem to go where I wanted it to go. Boop. Boop, nope. Oh wait, you can go higher if you... Okay, hold on. That changes everything. Okay, never mind. I thought that maybe... I'm gonna try this. Oh shoot. I guess I'm just gonna have to go through here again. I did that wrong. Whee! Oh, I went too high. Come on, Bard. We can do this. I'm being defeated by the platforming. I suspect this is going to happen a lot. I apologize, folks. They they stick to me a bit, but then they don't do anything else. Okay, hold on. Wait, is this? Okay. Bard is very musical. And, okay, then, okay, hold on. We're gonna... Oops. Is this where I'm supposed to go? Maybe. Oh, hello. Bud. City of Love. Oh, you're a hippie. I see. You got a tie-dye shirt and everything. Alright, Jonas, you do that. That is true. Oh, I see. Okay. We've got a hippie in a war place. Let your love. Love. Hello. Oh, the creepy one. Excuse me. Twisted? What's twisted about me? Oh, I seem to have entered the residential district. Rulers. Oh, she's saying that their like little animal companions are monsters. I feel like the game is slowing down. I don't understand. Is this person wearing a mask over their mouth? Mastodama. Oh, we're getting another raid. Thank you so much. How are you doing? What have you been up to? Oh, no teeth. Okay. Oh, no. I'm not sure. Harm will never come to us here. Do they all have glasses? Does everybody have glasses? I guess they do all seem to have glasses. Huh. I hadn't thought about that. Well, hello and welcome to everybody who has raided us. We are playing... Oh, that looks important. We are playing Wandersong, which is a charming indie game in which we play a bard who can sing. And you can interact with the world by singing at it. And it's a very, very cute and charming game experience. Wondering what that symbol means. Oh, that's a symbol for houses! Because that's what these weird, lumpy houses look like. This is... Sorry for calling your city weird and lumpy, but it kind of is. Oh, you can also dance. That's true. There's like a whole bunch of dances in this game. We're very cool. Wait, does it make music? No, okay. Yes, there's a dance button. So you can just dance and spin as you go. Oh, this is in fact where you can see the... Is this a real sun and moon? That looks like where we're trying to get to. Alright, I guess this is where we're going. Is this the castle? Hello. Oh. Okay, so this is the one that we were going to go talk to, yeah. Yes, you can definitely dance during cutscenes. Oh no! Oh. I do really I love that they're digging into the drama of this. Also, I love the bard, realizing that they're kind of an accessory to this whole thing. So, whenever they're mentioned as the body, they're like, that's me. And then they let the rest of the... I'm glad that they don't have to, translate what's being said here like they've done with previous ghost encounters. There's a lot of ghosts in this game. Minstrel, not bard. I'm a minstrel here. Sing the really old spells. That's one we don't want to. These songs are very complicated. Oops. Oh man. This is how we're gonna walk on things. Well, this is good. Please don't haunt me forever. I'm in a committed haunting with this minstrel. Oh my god, that's some good dialogue. Oh. Maha. There's something about their naming convention that I haven't figured out. Oh my gosh. This is walk on walls, but not walk on ceilings. No, there is walk on ceilings. There is a couch on your ceiling. Why is there a couch on your ceiling? I guess. Alright, well, I guess we're gonna go walk on some ceilings now. Are you folks ready to defy gravity? We did that in a... Hold on. In a... What's it called? What's that game? The Zelda. The Zelda that we played. Twilight Princess. Okay, I can already tell I'm gonna have a hard time with this. Controls are hard. Oh, there's houses on the ceiling too. Oh, hello. You look very cool. But it just makes new ones? Ah, what are your problems, friend? You have to tell them to me. You're obligated, Hermes, to tell me all of your problems. I am the protagonist. This is how this goes. Oh. I mean, you know, maybe were you good to her? Oh, okay. You're just really sad and brokenhearted. Yeah, I don't know, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, how am I? Oh, okay. Bwop. Bwop. Okay. Alright, we're just gonna like walk around on things now. Man, this is weird. Do I want a tip? I don't know if I want a tip. I want to go back to the library. I love how like everywhere you go, Miriam is like, oh my god, why is this happening? For the controls, is it like that you do left and right to go? Because I think I might have figured that out, but I don't know if I can do it reliably yet. Wait, have I tried jumping up here yet? Have I been there? Oh, I did, didn't I? Ah, okay. Let's keep going forward. Got it. So we're gonna go through here. Figure this out. Let's see. Bum, bum, bum. Oops. Okay. Oops. Whee! Okay, that worked. Oops. Bum, 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 bum. I just climbed the library. Wait, this is where I'm supposed to go? Eventually, maybe. Let's try this. No, what if we try this? Bum, 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 bum. Okay. This music Oops. Man, there's so much of this going on right now. There's so much. That looks like where I'm supposed to go, therefore I cannot go there. I mean, you know how that is. Wait, why is... Oh, I can't go there. I want to go through there and I don't get to. That's garbage. I want to phase through it, but I guess I don't get to. Oh, I haven't been here yet. Okay. Hello, Fernando. Yes. The Crater Theater. Oh, they did tell me about the Crater Theater. Hmm. You did. You smashed it and it burst into flames. Maybe you should get a new one. I mean, people do this with guitars. Light it on fire. Light it on fire. I don't... Yeah. Alright, friend. You are an unusual fellow. I guess I'll be climbing this wall. Hello, you look like... You have a really interesting design. This one isn't wearing glasses. You know, being eaten by a monster would not be very good. Ah, okay. This is the girlfriend of that boyfriend, apparently. Oh man, this is some recognizable feelings going on here. Can I only go down here? Oh. Boo 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 boo. Boo 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 boo. Oops. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the platforming. Okay. This way to music, shall we? Oh my god, it's my band. Hold on. Before I do that, I'm gonna try to jump up here. Just in case. Nope, there's nothing to do here. Alright, we gotta go run into our friends who are touring. I wonder if we're gonna get to play with them again. Oh my gosh, it's the gang. Holy cannoli. Oh my gosh. Oh, Ash. What's up, Viola? Oh, Ash. Stunt trial for sea crimes. What even is a sea crime? Some hot potatoes. Is that a saying? Please tell me people say that they were in a hot potato. I really like that. That's so cute. Oh no. This is very cute. Ash gets it. Oh. Wait, what? Is that happening everywhere? Huh. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's consequences for things not being right. Well, it's funny and sad because, like, you know, you put on the show in Delphi so that you can help, like, revive the energy and spirit of the town, and then, like, turns out that actually no, the town's not okay. Even though we made it temporarily better. That's good. I'm glad. Good. Okay. Oh, good. Safi's still there. Oh, good. Adami, thank you for following. Yay! Sapphire is there and she's okay. I love the bard's like screaming with intensity. That's Miriam's grandma! Everyone's like, what? My friend Miriam. Aww. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to tell Miriam about all of this. Hello. Enthusiastic. Oh my god. Hi, May. Yes, I do fit in with them a little better than you do. Look at, just like, look, like, I mean, Ash is serious versus the other two who are, like, gritting, but, like, we're a much more, like, strange, wholesome, colorful cast of characters. Oh. Huh. Ah. Hello, you look like Patrick Stewart. I don't know why. I just they have like a captain of a Starship Enterprise look going on. And heels. That's the spirit, Rahul. I believe in you, Rahul. Yay! Yes. Shall we go in and attend the show? Oh my gosh, Manny's vibrating with intensity. I'm dancing. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, she was dancing. That was really, really adorable. Oh my gosh, that's adorable. Oh my gosh, they're dancing at her. Bard is such a dork. Bard is like, that was the most adorable thing I've ever seen. Is it being here around the witches and feeling like you might actually fit in? Huh. That would be, oh. There we go, I'm matching her dance. I'm not judging, I'm dancing with you. She's so adorable. Oh man. Yeah. This is so cute and so wholesome. Yeah. But we're gonna dance some more. I love that there's a dance that's similar enough to hers that it fits in well. I really want to hear, yes, Miriam. Yes, this is such important stuff. That is a lot, but it's so good. But I'm starting to. Yeah. It always works out somehow. Yeah, it is hard when you like build like, well, I'm not like that person because they've got this thing going on and I am like this, and like you kind of like start stacking blocks on top of that, and then it turns out that that's not necessarily the most accurate assessment of them. Oh. Huh. That's a very little smile. Bard is listening and thinking hard about what she's saying. This is a good question. That's a good thing to want. A lot of people don't want to be happy like that, you know? Like, I feel like happiness isn't always on like the list of what people are hoping for. And I'm not quite sure why, but I don't know, like that's something I used to wish for when I blew up my birthday candles, because everything else doesn't, I don't know. If you're happy, then it's okay if other things aren't quite right, you know? Yeah, we did see the bard be depressed, like actual depression. Yeah, here we go. Well, I worked through it. There you go, yeah. Oh yeah. This is something I've had to talk to friends about too, where they're like, how come you're not depressed about these things that are hard and scary? And I'm like, in order to be able to function at all, I have to keep a door closed in my mind. If that door gets open, it hurts, and if that door stays open, it will suck me in, and I will not be able to function. So you do have to actually close a door in your mind at all times. And it's not easy to do, but it is essential. And there are people who are like, you're just lying to yourself. You're just like avoiding the truth. And I'm like, no, I'm keeping myself functional and living, which does more good than constantly exposing yourself to that kind of pain and never looking away from it. Like, what is that going to accomplish? That's not going to let you fight the things that scare you, and it's not going to make the existential concerns that you have no longer be an issue. It's just going to mean that you can't enjoy the life that you have in front of you. You can't live that life because you're so paralyzed by what if. So I don't think it makes you running from the hard things to keep that door closed. Audrey is not very... yeah. You think? Yeah, jealousy It's hard. Yeah. Calling her evil is interesting because, like, that's not, like, she's, like, mean or bad or cruel. That's, like, an actual, like, value judgment in a world where, like, we're talking about the goddess potentially destroying the world, so it has a slightly different meaning. Yeah, no. It makes me kind of reevaluate Audrey a little bit, because I was like, Audrey seems kind of mean and full of it, but also kind of trying to do what needs to be done, but is a bit of a jerk about it. And obviously, like, in a good story, the main character is not 100% reliable. But I feel like if Bard says that about Audrey, maybe I should think about... I'm trying to think of Audrey more as a person rather than as an entity, and maybe that's not right for this game. I don't know. This is a good conversation to have too. Like, for Miriam to look at Bard and be like, everything is so easy for you, and Bard is like, it's not. I am, like, always struggling with feelings of insufficiency, you know? Yeah. Alright, my ship just changed. This is the moment when the ship changes from a joke ship. Because, I mean, this could just be friendship, but the way that she said admire. I like that being able to dance like this lets her say the things that she doesn't usually feel comfortable enough to say. And I like that she's dancing because there's a certain, like, rawness and vulnerability to dancing like this. That is so good, Miriam, and it's so much better than what people often do, which is to try to crush down the person who has that spark. So something that I have seen on a few levels, I hope you don't mind, this is a very emotional character moment, and here I am talking through and talking over it. But I was a really, like, hopeful, I want to save the world kind of person when I was younger, kind of like the Bard is. Sometimes dealing with, you know, depression, existential crises, and so on, but still with this, like, really, like, strong and powerful drive to want to and believe that I could save the world. And just absolutely committed to it, to the point that I did almost destroy myself trying to help people. And this is not a tendency that I have completely removed from myself, as I have discovered. But people who are mired in the darkness will throw themselves at your light. And I think what they want is, I think that on some level they hope that if they can just throw everything they have at you and you don't break, it will somehow prove to them that you're right, and it will give them the light instead of the darkness. But instead, what it usually winds up doing is seriously hurting and damaging the person who has the light and pulling them down into the darkness. And so for Miriam to be somebody who says, I want to be like that, I want to be happy, I want to be able to keep trying anyway, like, that's so much healthier for everyone. And it's not the path that people like her necessarily take. And so, I don't know, I really like that as a dynamic. I like seeing that. It's always too self-conscious to try. Yeah. Yeah, like, I feel like Miriam has a hard time opening up and being vulnerable. Like, a lot of times, and I probably, if you're a sarcastic person, I probably don't have to tell you this, but sarcasm is often a shield, a suit of armor, deflecting anything that might touch somebody's vulnerable core. And this is a very vulnerable moment and a very vulnerable conversation for Miriam to be able to open up and expose herself like this. So... yeah, she's figured that out. That's cool. That's cute. You do have to be careful teasing someone like this, though, because you don't want to cause them to put their armor back up. So... that's cute. She's not putting her armor back. Yeah, I love how much she loves her grandma. If her grandma dies, I am going to cry. But I love that she loves her grandma. Her grandma is her world. Her grandma is her everything. Yeah. So this is actually kind of nostalgic for me. I don't know if nostalgia is the right word for it, but playing loud music on a stage with a band, with a dark crowd in the audience. Like, this is a home for me that I don't have access to right now, and I haven't in a long time. So I like that that's the moment. For me, there's that extra layer of this is personally significant to me. I like that. That was a really, really good scene. And then the music coming from inside the venue. Spent a lot of time loading in the back alley while the music is going from the band before or after you. Generally, it would be load out actually with the band after you. Because load in, presumably you should probably be there because I don't usually headline because I don't like being up that late. Presumably you should be there and load it in before the first band starts. So this is like a load out sort of thing for me. Yeah, so whenever I would get a new bandmate in the band, I would give them a pair of earplugs. But they don't always wear them because our bassist is a punk who doesn't wear the earplugs. And I'm like, Danger, put your earplugs in. And he's like, what? Oh, Danger, no. I love my band and I miss them a lot. My bandmate Wedge was supposed to be here with me. She was supposed to come visit for a week starting yesterday. Obviously that didn't happen. It is interesting though, the things that become home, that make you feel like home. Now that I'm like away from home and I probably won't be able to go back home, and I'll probably have spent like a year or more away from home by the time I can finally see my people in Texas again. It is interesting the things that you find that make you think of home so that you can have that like needed reminder there. You know, like I never would have thought that I would be a person who was really upset about losing home, but it turns out that as I've gotten older and, you know, wound up with like a better relationship with my family, because things can be hard, and then you kind of sometimes can come to terms with stuff as you get older. Yeah. No, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is I get where Miriam is coming from on that, like, that I'm not here, but this makes me think of. Yeah. My sister and I text each other photos of our cats almost every day. Because our cats look like cousins, because they are cousins. It's really adorable. And so you have these like little bits of connection that you try to have. And I feel sorry for Miriam that she doesn't get to have that with her grandma. Because at least I live in the era of the internet. So I can call, you know, I can call my family if I need to. I can video chat with my mom on her birthday. I can, you know, text with my mom when I've got news, which is nice. It would be really hard to not have that. I'm gonna cry. Anyway, I love that Miriam is working on things for herself, and it sounds like, because people who are like that, who are prickly and sarcastic, I have had so many friends like that. Like, I wind up not so much anymore, because they wound up not necessarily, it's not a healthy friendship pattern for some of the reasons that I just listed off. But growing up, like, and I went from best friend to best friend to best friend over the years, and they were always these like really, really dry, sarcastic people who were very prickly. One of them, I even called her, she was my porcupine friend, because she would stab you on the outside, but if you got to her squishy gooshy middle, it's very soft and sensitive. And they frequently are very soft and sensitive, but they wear their spiky armor to protect them. But seeing Miriam come to terms with who she is and who she wants to be and what she wants out of life and what her actual feelings are on her own. I mean, I don't know how old she's supposed to be if she's a teenager. But like, for her to do that by herself and for herself and not hurt anyone in the process is actually pretty phenomenal. That's a hard thing to do. And a lot of times people think somebody else is going to be able to save them, which doesn't work. You cannot save somebody like that, and nobody can save you like that. And so it's really wonderful to see Miriam saving herself from that, because you do have the power to do that, and that doesn't mean it's easy. But you have to be the one to do it. And that's part of why I stopped having friends like that so much, because they wanted me to fix them and I wanted to try to fix them, and neither one of us was going to benefit from that experience. And so I know that I can't do that, and all I'm going to do is hurt myself. And ideally, most people who were like that when they were younger hit a point where, like Miriam, they figure out, I'm not happy this way. What can I do to be happy? And there are a lot of paths to finding that answer, and it's always an ongoing process. Like when Miriam's like, you know yourself, you know who you are, you know what you want, and you know what you're doing, and Bard's like, no. And when Bard is like, you know, you figured out these answers, and Miriam's like, I think maybe I'm going to always be figuring them out. Like, it's a constant struggle. Like, I'm probably older than a significant number of you, if not all of you, and I feel like there's a lot of growing and self-discovery that you're supposed to do in your early 20s that I didn't, for a number of reasons. So in some ways I felt like the past few years have been me kind of playing catch up, but it has been this big undertaking, and it is so hard and so important, and I am such a stronger, healthier, surer of myself version of myself than I ever dreamed I was even capable of being. Like 10 years ago, the me of 10 years ago would just not be able to recognize me. And it's not that I cut all my hair off. And that's not a bad thing. Like, life is about growth. I don't know. I'm glad for Miriam. And I'm glad that Bard is able to admit and talk about their own uncertainties and misgivings. So let's see what happens here. This is the sister that she didn't want to talk to. What brings you here? Well, I'm dead. And other things too, like what? Oh no, don't you dare. She ran away. But I mean, I can't fault her for that, you know? Like, I can't fault her for trying desperately. Even if it was, you know, an ill thought out, foolish plan. I hope we didn't accidentally kill her in our attempts to save the world. Yeah, I can see why she didn't want to see this sister, since the sister's like not very kind. Oh, this is passing through, I see. Of course. That's good. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I'm not a fan of her. Yeah, I was gonna say, anger is not the right response here, and the fact that this is making her angry indicates to me that she's being angry instead of being sad, because it's easier to be angry than sad. It's part of why there's a process with grief. I don't remember how this one went. Oh, actually, no, I do. Huh. Oh, okay, I see. Here we go. Is there anywhere else on the map we couldn't go? feel like I've been everywhere that I know of, so that means we're gonna have to figure out how to get there. Oh, you're new? Hello. You are covered in paint. I like that. Mysterious graffiti artist. She's very adorable. I like her design. Alright, bub. Alright, let's take a look at our map. Oh, there is a place that I haven't been, isn't there? Glad I don't take fall damage. That would be awfully disheartening. Yeah, we're gonna go through here. Magic candy. Isn't that a thing in... Oops. Oh, I did actually know that about Featherfall. I have played a bard in a game before. Oh, look at this, look at this. Okay, hold on. We're gonna go through here. Don't know if I even noticed this. Hey, Mask! Are we gonna dance? Are we gonna dance? Yeah! So much dance. The power of dance. Let's do it. I love the dancing friends. What am I doing? What is this dance? What is this dance? What am I doing? Do I have my hand? Do I have my hand in my pocket? Okay. A rodeo thing? You would think I would know that. I'm from Texas. But you would be wrong if that is a rodeo thing. Alright, so if somebody is able to tell me next time what I'm supposed to be doing and where I'm supposed to be going. Oh, is it a lasso? Oh, okay. Probably. Yeah, so this does feel like a good place to stop, doesn't it? Oh man, this game is there's a lot more to this game than I had thought. Like, I thought it was just gonna be this like feel good, everybody gets a hug kind of game. And there's a lot of maturity in the characterization and storytelling, and I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, no, I know the game wants you to think that. It wants to kind of catch you off guard, and it does a very good job with that. I'm impressed. Yeah, so let me know what you think about whether I should stream Final Fantasy VII Remake, excuse me, Crisis Core 2 after I finish Wandersong. I have no idea how far I am from the end of Wandersong, but whenever Wandersong is over, if I should do that on Thursdays or if I should make the Tuesday crew deal with it. Thank you all so much for being here. Yes, Draskin, it's like, I don't even want to think what time it is for you. Get some sleep. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry I'm the slowest person in the world, but I got there eventually. 4 a.m., my goodness. You go get some sleep, friend. Thanks, Nick. I've got a lot to say. Alright, Chrono, we'll see if I can finish this in a month. I might be moving at the end of that. We'll see. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here. And I hope, you know, if me talking about this stuff is helpful for you, like, I'm happy to continue doing so, because I think this stuff is really, really important. And I think a lot of times we don't, a lot of times we don't feel comfortable talking about our experiences when it comes to something like that personal, especially if you're somebody who feels like there's like a pressure to put your best self forward at all time. But like the truth is everybody struggles, like, and you can see someone from the outside like Bard and be like, oh, it comes easy to them, but I think that it's super important that Miriam is talking about her experiences and her feelings, and I think that's something that we should all, as much as we're comfortable with, try to do. Be that open with the people you care about, talk about these things, and realize you are the only one who can find the solutions, and you are the only one who can heal yourself, but you don't have to be alone while you do that. You can do that and have friends there to hold your hand and lift you up and listen to you. So I hope that we can all take care of ourselves and each other. I know that this continues to be a hard and scary time, but if there's any chance that you can take this time and this space when everything is up in the air to start figuring out who you are and where you want things to land when they're not so up in the air, like, I think that can be, in a way, making the most of a difficult situation. So please be good to yourselves. Please be kind to yourselves and to each other. And I'm going to, here, you can join our Discord if you haven't yet, follow on social media, etc., etc., etc. Keep in touch, and we'll see you for this next week. So good night, my friends. Bye. Yeah.